let's do this. We got Ginormica. And if she could survive on Monster Island, we're actually going to be using the IDW comic version of this, and this is about to be absolutely hilarious. But let's go into Ginormica's tier. Now, I have seen some scaling for her being like city level, which is kind of normal for characters and, you know, kaiju like characters that can reach these building level sizes, because we do believe they can destroy cities. But, yeah. Oh, sorry. I think that was a chew toy, by the way. Let's really talk about this here. I don't think she's city level at all. I would actually give her, like, large building level status, and here's why. For starters, the standard, you know, tier and, tier and, overall capacity for being a kaiju is city level is because how they walk, you know? Even some of the lighter built kaijus, for example, Ginormica, you know, who's at Ginormica, which is one of the few lighter built titans or kaiju, right, are capable of still causing earthquakes with a simple step. Okay, Godzilla, a monster that can cause earthquakes with a simple step. King Ghidorah simply landing is shaking the entire city, if not toppling buildings as he lands. Okay. They're able to literally vaporize entire cities with a single stomp, okay? Ginormica doesn't have anywhere near that. However, she has still been able to lift hundreds and thousands of tons with her gigantic size. So she would still count as strong, but not entirely, you know, super kaiju strong or whatever. You guys get what I mean? So, yeah, she's around the large building level department to maybe around some, you know, relativistic or, you know, somewhat sonic speeds, if you will. But let's go into the Monster Island. So Monster Island, we're going to be using the IDW variants, you know, of the island, and we're going to be limited to Earth Defenders. This is basically going to be everyone from Godzilla Rules the Earth. So you have Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Caesar, Camebis, Anguirus, Baragon, Sanda, Zilla, King Caesar. I think I said King Caesar already. Ginormica, Sanda, and Garaya. Okay, so all those monsters, and Titanosaurus. My bad, almost forgot. Titanosaurus as well, Varin, and Monda. Yep, all those guys, basically, right? So Ginormica is going to be able to, you know, do her shrinking thing like she did in the series and go back to her gigantic size when she needs it. So Ginormica is going to be thrown on the island. You know, she's got a bunch of gear and stuff to help her traverse the environment in her smaller human form. And she also goes to her giant form for emergencies. So what are Susan's odds of surviving the island? Well, the island kind of does provide for the kaiju in a way anyway. They do have like food on there. They got like small animals that they can eat. They have, you know, easily a good system and a good stream of water. There's also shelter for them. And Ginormica could possibly take advantage of this and definitely use some of the kaiju's habits to kind of navigate the island. But she's going to run into a couple problems. For starters, Ginormica. Ginormica is by far one of my few favorite kaiju, and I was actually hoping that was him in King of the Monsters instead of Scylla, but, you know, it is what it is. But let's really talk about here. Ginormica is an aggressive kaiju. Not aggressive towards those he considered his allies, but definitely aggressive to those who he consider his enemies and they enter his territory. This monster has a webbing so strong, it can not only temporarily pin down characters like Monster X, right, but can also snatch up and literally pull characters that have blades on them like Gigan. So again, that is ridiculously impressive here. So Susan's in trouble. She falls into that, and I don't think she's going to be able to get out of that. She doesn't have the same strength level as the other monsters. As a matter of fact, she doesn't have the weight level either, so she'll get snatched in a lot quicker. Another one, Gorosaurus. Gorosaurus is definitely a friendly one, but he's pretty aggressive. So I think Susan kind of encroaching on his territory or maybe disturbing something on the island would definitely get Gorosaurus' attention. And with those kicks, you know, the same kicks that could literally one-shot King Ghidorah's spine, for crying out loud here. Like, Jesus Christ. it's going to be a problem. Now, a couple of friendly kaiju I think Susan can definitely make friends with are Sanda and Garaya. I do think that it'd be like a kind of like a big brother and big sister relationship, brotherly and sister relationship. But I do think that Garaya is the one to attack her. Yeah, if Garaya attacks her like instantly, it's kind of over, especially if he's by himself when he sees her, because Garaya is like the aggressive brother out of the duo. Sorry. Yeah, out of the duo, and he's not going to hesitate to like put his claws through her. Meanwhile, if he's with Sanda, he's a bit more, he's tempered, he's more controlled to a certain degree, because he'll still swing on his brother like, like it's nothing. Like he'll still swing on him and just pretty much beat on him, and then they'll be fighting each other. So it actually would be great for Susan to try and start a relationship with these guys, kind of like a sibling-like relationship with them. But then again, you guys also have to remember, Garai is pretty hostile. And with the intelligence that these two have, if she's able to make friends with them, she's able to, get on good terms with them. And then just, I guess she can actually live a peaceful life on there. Now, next up, we got the friendliest guy around, Zilla. Now, I've seen Zilla in Ginormica art before, and it's actually pretty impressive how these two could possibly even be friends. So, I don't think it's impossible either. But what we're going to have to address here is that we're not using Godzilla the series Zilla. We're using his stronger, much tougher, much more durable self, IDW Zilla, who was actually aggressive towards humans, at least the ones that attacked him. It seemed like he was more curious than anything, and I do believe if he was rewarded with friendship more, like he did with the kaiju, he would have been a lot more, I think, nicer and much more appreciative towards humans here. And I do think that Susan being, kinder and more appreciative, towards him, or at least a lot more friendlier towards him, he would have definitely warmed up to her, and we could have actually seen, a Godzilla the series kind of thing. So, yeah, I do think it's pretty prevalent, and it's pretty impressive that, Zilla is, that impressive here. I do think it's pretty impressive that it's, he could be friendly towards her. Other kaiju that really won't bother will be like King Caesar. Rodan might go out of his way to attack her, especially if he feels threatened by her presence or if he just feels like it. Manda and Titanosaurus, if she again goes onto their territory, so she's gonna have to be smart where she pretty much has her water and her water source or whatever, stuff like that. She's just gonna have to be she's just gonna have to be really smart with it. Baragon, not really one to bother her unless he's attacked. So he's a peaceful boy. He's a good boy. He's a pretty peaceful and good boy. Just like my dog. Except he doesn't breathe fire. So, yeah, Susan has a 50-50 chance of actually living a good life on Monster Island and possibly passing it. So, let's really get into the dangers. And the dangers I really mean are the invasions. Monster Island gets attacked a lot because it's pretty much the home base of the Earth Defenders, which are basically monsters that protect the planet. So, who goes there constantly just to run the fade and usually wins more often than not? Yeah, King Ghidorah. Yeah, you guys should have saw this coming. I mean, that dude literally pulls up on Monster Island 2 to 3 times out of the entire week. Maybe 5 times a day. I mean, like, geez, dude. Oh, and let's not forget the Doomsday himself. Destroyer. Yeah, Destroyer. Uh-huh. Oh, yes, most maliciously. It's about to be like that. So, again, these, it's about to go, it's going down. I feel bad for Susan at this point. Because if either one of these guys show up, or Space Godzilla shows up, or the Trolopods, geez, the Trolopods would actually be a nightmare for Susan, because she would probably have no choice but to flee. And in all honesty, they wouldn't really drain anything from her. They might drain, if they drain the radiation out of her, then maybe it would probably return her back to her human size permanently. But she'd be damaged from that. She doesn't have a healing factor like the rest of these monsters. These monsters can regenerate their limbs. They can regenerate, holes that have been punctured into their, vital organs and stuff. They can regenerate from just about anything. Atomization even. So it's not even going to really matter if they get hurt. But if Susan gets hurt, she's honestly done. What you think she gonna do to Destroyer? She gonna try to help out, and then Destroyer gonna grab her with her tail, slam her on her neck, and it's GG. Or she does something with Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla is gonna lift her up with telekinesis and fling her into a mountain. And at the speed and rate she's going at, she's gonna be a splat in the mountain because she's not as durable as the others. And then again, like I said with the Trolopods, it's really not looking too good for her, just due to the simple fact that she doesn't have that durability. She doesn't have that regenerative healing factor. I mean, the monsters they absorb as well, she could pretty much get jumped by every power in the book and get slaughtered. So while I do love Susan, and while I do think Susan, I do think she has a 50-50 chance of surviving the island, because some of the monsters are friendlier, especially Mothra. She definitely could survive Mothra. Mothra's pretty friendly on the island. However, I don't see her surviving long term. So I'm going to have to give her a 5 out of 10 for survival rate. So please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you guys later for the next survival video. Peace.